Good morning, everybody. Today's session of Coffee Talk, I am so excited to have the superintendent of Port Jefferson Schools, Paul Casciano. Welcome, Paul.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Good morning. You look so nice.
Oh, thank you.
I'm wearing my Port Jeff
sweatshirt. I got all
sweatshirt
cleaned up for the show. So,
Thank you for joining us. I brought it upon myself since I saw this wonderful tribute that's about to happen in less than 2 months. I talked to Kathy at the school and said, "Yeah, you should have Paul on the show. He would love. He's passionate about this event, and I'd like you to tell us about it."
well, so first of all, we have our fingers crossed that we're going to make the dedication deadline. But about 2 years ago, we had some community members who approached members of our Board of Education. They were here for a reunion from a class from the 60s. And they were kind of disappointed that there was nothing at the school that recognized one of their classmates who was killed in Vietnam. So that began a conversation. The board approached me. I was very interested in helping. I met with the individuals. And it was very interesting, the response that we got from staff members and then members from the community and members from past classes that attended Port Jefferson. So we know that there are other tributes, but we wanted something that was a school district tribute. And so the tribute is really for students or former students who attended Port Jefferson, who served in the armed forces, and also employees who may have served in the armed forces. And as you know, Port Jefferson School District used to cover a much larger geographic area, so that historically goes way back. And someone said Spanish-American War. I'm not really sure. I should have studied more in history when I was taking classes. But so the challenge was to communicate with people from all the way from like Wading River, as far south as Ronkonkoma, and as far west as Smithtown, and get the word out. So it's been a little challenging, and it's kind of helped us decide how we were actually going to put this project together so that we had some flexibility.
And so here it is in April, the beginning of April, and what are the challenges going forward? This event is May 30th, correct?
Correct.
So we're 2 months minus, right? What do you need help in? And frankly, I mean, what should happen to get the word out? We'll try to help all we can.
Well,
there's a brick. Why don't we talk about the physical part of this?
Okay. Well, I like to think the biggest hurdle we have pretty much overcome, and that was this project was not going to come out of school district funds.
Okay.
So the funding would really come from individuals who wanted to either contribute or to participate in fundraising efforts. And one of them, as you alluded to, are the sale of bricks. But we have really done very well with the fundraising. We raised, I think the latest figure is a little over $30,000. And so that we should be pretty close to breaking even. Like I said, I got my fingers crossed, but I think we'll be okay. We have a huge boulder, which we're going to place a plaque on, which has a tribute statement, which honors those who served in the armed forces from the Port Jefferson School District community. We have the Brick Fundraiser. And the reason we chose the bricks was we didn't know what to do if a name emerged, 3 months from now after we already had something done at the site. So we said, well, if we had bricks and we used bricks that had specific names, we could always, take out a blank brick.
Makes sense.
And have it. So we wanted that kind of flexibility. And right now we've sold approximately 300 bricks, which is actually very good.
Yeah.
And there are different elements of the bricks. All right. First, there's what we're calling the Royal Court of Courage, because we're the Royals. And that is a rectangle that surrounds the boulder, which will have the tribute plaque on it. And that Royal Court will have bricks with the names of individuals who either attended Port Jefferson schools and served in the armed forces, or who were employed by the Port Jefferson School District and served in the armed forces. But we didn't limit it to only those people. So that, but we did on the Royal Court of Courage. So that will be that part. Then there's the Path of Honor. And the Path of Honor are families who want to have their name as part of it, or in some cases we have people like, for myself, my dad served in World War II. He served in the Pacific Fleet, in the Navy, and so I bought a brick in his honor. Now, he doesn't have a Port Jefferson connection,
Sure.
so he'll be on the Path of Honor. My family bought a brick, so there'll be a brick from the Casciano family. And so, and people have been somewhat imaginative in the bricks and the messages that they've put on there. So that's a Path of Honor, the Royal Court of Courage, and so immediately surrounding the boulder will be the Garden of Peace, and that'll be some landscaping. We've already had our student Jillian Lawler, who did the artist sketch, so we could all visualize what our goal was.
Where will the physical location of this be?
This will be in front of the cafeteria at the high school, and it will be off of Old Post Road near the old high school sign, which really hasn't been used until we put future site of the Port Jefferson School District Armed Forces tribute. So our goal is to repurpose that sign.
Gotcha.
And that might come after the dedication, because we have to see what kind of funding we have. We also have one of our students, Gabe Zoda, who's, as his Eagle Scout project, is building 2 benches, which will also be part
here,
of,
right?
Yes. So
You can reflect, and you can commemorate and reflect for those that served or those that were lost as well, right? I mean, that's going to be absolutely part of this.
Absolutely. One of our committee members, and I have to say our committee has been great. It's staff, community people, and everyone has really embraced it. Tara's Inn, Tara Inn had done a fundraiser on
I heard it was very successful.
New Year's Day, raised over $7,000.
Wow.
And that got us off to such a great start.
So the day's events on May 30th, describe the day's event. I understand it'll start at 10 a.m., correct? Or maybe even before?
Yeah, that's our working time.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just say.
I mean, is it both, you're unveiling this that day, right? Not so much before, right?
Correct. One of the decisions that we had to make was, because early on there was discussion about having something indoors, like we would have, something commemorating or honoring, giving tribute inside the high school. And then we thought about it, and the community doesn't have access to that. And in this day and age, you have less access to schools than you had prior.
I couldn't get in this building today.
Yeah, so we said, no, it needs to be outside so that, on the weekends and the evenings when people
joggers,
are free
bicyclists,
and so on,
people coming.
you can walk, and see it. So
that was a good decision.
So we're really hopeful for May 30th. Our boulder is there, and the plaque's being developed. The flagpole people are ready to go. The benches are being prepared. The bricks are being engraved. All those things are working behind the scenes, and we were waiting for the ground to thaw so that we could actually map out the paths so that we could, start laying the bricks. And when I say we, I am not getting dirty, so I'll be, doing what I normally do, just have a lot of opinions and not do any of the heavy lifting. So,
Someone's got to be the visionary.
so,
So this is happening, though.
but it's happening. We wanted to go with the traditional Memorial Day, which is May 30th,
Okay.
because we wanted to have student involvement, and they'll be in school on that day, so we have a captive audience.
So anybody is invited to this particular date whenever the unveiling is, right? Just, it's a public event, right?
Yes, we'll post it
Yep.
on our website. We're also in the discussion stage of having something, another kind of dedication, maybe a little later on, but before the end of the school year on the weekend, because we realize a lot of people work. This will be during the school day.
Right.
But there are a lot of people that work there. We have people from out of state who heard about this, used to live in Port Jeff.
I'm sure.
And purchase bricks. We have people purchase duplicate bricks so they could have one at home and one that would be in the walk. There are all kinds of,
Well, my team would be glad to do this. I'll put this out there whenever it happens. If it needs to be live streamed, professionally, so people that are out of state can see it, we'll be happy to do that. That'd be our
great.
contribution to that.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I think it's wonderful. I think the point of this, one of the points is, today's generation is not necessarily, even though they take history in school, they're not, readily close to those that sacrifice. So I think it's wonderful, and I'm sure you recognize that part of it as well.
Yeah, and that's a great point. We want school to be relevant, and
Right.
history, as you know, kind of repeats itself. So it's not just studying about old people and old times. It's what are the patterns that you're seeing, and when you're reading about war or the defense of a nation and protecting our rights and things like that, it's not something that happens somewhere else. We have people who went to the same high school, who worked in the high school, who worked in the other buildings from this community, and it kind of makes it a little bit more relevant and maybe raise the interest level that they have when they're talking about these things.
It's so important today.
Although the order for the bricks to be ready for May 30th pretty much has passed. The way we have developed this project is that if somebody wants to purchase a brick later on, like they're just hearing about it now, or even if they hear about it a year from now, we can get a brick engraved and we could add it by taking up a blank brick.
And not only is it further commemoration, but as you know, these items, these places, they require maintenance through the years. So that would be good to have that funded so that it stays nice. Not only is it built nice, but it stays nice.
I will say our facilities staff has been very involved also with the planning.
Good.
And they have taken ownership. So besides whatever funds it costs, the school district is very interested in maintaining it. It's up front and center, right in front of the high school cafeteria, and there's a lot of pride in it. And
Yeah, I see that already. It's building. Well, I wish everybody the best in this. We are behind your project. Thank you for coming on.
thank you.
I read a little bit about your career. 41 years, right?
41 years at Floyd.
This is
yes.
fantastic.
And then this is my third year.
So over. Wow.
So,
And you'll be retiring this year.
that's
most
the
likely.
plan.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Well,
My wife's retiring from, she's a principal in Three Village,
Ah,
and she...
you can't leave her hanging. She
yeah,
wants
well,
to travel.
Yeah, of course she'll regret it when I'm home for like a few months. And
Yeah,
she'll
maybe
say,
in a week.
Yeah, she'll go back to work.
Well, thank you so much. I wish you all the
All right,
best.
Kevin, thank you.
Come on again
It was
after
a
you
real
retire.
pleasure.
Good luck.
Oh, thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.